Ah, a beautiful day in Gillinor. Not a zulrah in sight. I can just chop my favorite tree in the game, the maple tree. Don't have to run dry at a boss for over 2,000 kills. Ooh, sorry, I think I was daydreaming, or maybe a day nightmare. I'm not sure. There's plenty to do on the group Ironman, including reacquiring my quest cape and completing one of the hardest quests in the game, Desert Treasure 2. So let's get into it. So I'm probably going to start every single one of these episodes off by doing a few kills of zulrah. I don't want to do a big grind of zulrah anymore, but I will definitely get a few kills in every once in a while, and just in hopes that I get this goddamn blowpipe. I try my best to stay on top of my farm runs. I got so many different tree seeds from zulrah that I basically have 99 farming banked. It's just a matter of actually doing all of the tree seeds. So while we're watching clips of me doing my tree runs and killing Hespori, I took a long break from the game, probably about 3 months, which is the longest I've done since Group Ironman came out, basically. But I'm just feeling very motivated to get back into it. I'm excited for the future of this account. I was playing a lot of Dark and Darker, which I don't know if you know that game, but it is amazing. It's basically Tarkov, but in Dungeons and Dragons form. Also, when I got the Hespori here, you can see I actually got a bottomless compost bucket. I already got one, but it's just nice to see drops. I've been at zulrah for so long, it's just nice to see different drops. Alright, now on to the actual quests. A lot of quests have came out in the last while, including while I was doing the zulrah grind, Desert Treasure 2. That will probably be the guts of this journey, but I had to do a quest called the Path of Glofrey, which is continuing on with the Gnome quest line. It unlocks terror. Oh, I can't even remember the name of them now. Just did a bit of research. It's warped terror birds, and they drop a mid-tier trident style weapon, which is really good for mid-game stuff. Sadly, I already have the toxic trident, which is much stronger, but it might actually be worth coming back here and just grabbing that, even for the collection log, and in case I don't want to like spend all of my chaos runes and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll probably come back to this. For now, my goal is just getting these quests done. When it comes to quests in RuneScape, I really enjoy them. There's always really fun puzzles that are in them, and I even read through all of the dialogue, surprisingly enough. A lot of people just hold spacebar, but I'm the kind of person that kind of goes through all the dialogue too. I love the lore of this game. Um, so I was wondering like how I should do these quests. I'm probably not going to show, I'm probably going to even show like 20% of the quest, like very little, maybe a few puzzles here and there, but like not showing off most of the quests. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that does enjoy the quests also. Obviously you can just look up, like there's so many videos of like guides on how to do the quests, and you can see every single cutscene, every puzzle, and like I even use the quest helper plugin. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're not a kind of puzzle person. You can still get through all the quests this way. I like to turn off the quest helper when I get to certain puzzles, just so I can try solve it myself. If I do get stuck, if I genuinely do get stuck, I obviously resort back to the quest helper or look up the wiki. Um, but for the most part, I really do try do the puzzles myself. Really enjoy them. Yeah. And with that, this is the completion of the Path of Glufrey. So I've unlocked those warped terror birds that I mentioned, and I got a few XP lamps as well, which is pretty nice. So I think we'll be going on to the next quest now. Now on to the big quest, Desert Treasure 2. I decided that I'll keep the in-game music on, so while I'm doing questing especially. I usually do like background RuneScape music that I download and put in later in editing, but Just for the sake of like boss fights and stuff, I'm gonna keep the actual game music in. It's like a part of the questing that I enjoy as well, unlocking the music tracks. But the art style in this quest is so cool. They've really like upped their like just like quality of new content. Like look how, minus the weird visual glitch in the background, but look at the temples and stuff like that in this. They're just so much better quality. When I first started this quest, I just wanted to show this guy off and the dialogue that he has. This guy is so annoying. He made me not want to unlock the treasure, like the desert treasure. So I don't know, like he was just so annoying. Another thing about Desert Treasure 2, I have already fought, I think, the Whisperer, Leviathan, and actually, yeah, I've only fought the Whisperer and Leviathan. So there's two bosses that I've never fought before in Vardorvis and the Duke. So I'm very excited to get into those boss fights. But obviously, if you watch my League series, I've already killed Whisper a lot, so I think I'm gonna breeze through the Leviathan and the Whisper boss fights, but I'll still show them off anyway. Here's me encountering the first puzzle as well, just like very simple rules to follow, but I'm just showing how I like to do it, where you can't see Runelight helping me out. You know, if you had the quest helper on right now, it would tell you exactly where to put all of these little energy cells, but I just really enjoy trying to figure it out by myself first. Onto the first boss that you encounter in Desert Treasure 2, which is Vardorvis. The Stranglewood area, I briefly visited this place in the Leagues, but this place during the quest is super creepy. You get like chased by hundreds of mobs, all these like zombies attacking you and stuff, and you gotta like run all over the place. Really well done by Jagex, I think. Very creepy, eerie place. And this is the boss chamber of Vardorfs. Looks really cool, actually. During the quest of Desert Treasure 2, the bosses are a little bit easier, but all the mechanics are basically the same. I looked up a quick video on just like making sure I know what I'm getting myself into. Um, but Vardorvis, I actually completed in the first try. Now, I almost died there, as you've seen. This would I would probably die in that part if it was the actual boss fight. So I definitely have to clean up my mechanics here. But this was a really fun boss fight. I'm just gonna let it play through. Now, after Vardorvis, the true boss for me anyway comes in here. Kasande, the guy that's been helping you through the Vardorvis area, basically. This guy, I don't know what it was. I read what he could do and everything. I just could not get the hang of this guy's mechanics at all. I was like lagging on moving around when he's throwing the potions on the floor. I just kept getting hit here and there. I died a couple of times fighting this guy, as I'm going to show you now. Um, and even the time where I did kill him, it was not the cleanest kill at all. I did not learn a lot from fighting this guy. This guy, he got on my nerves more than Vardorvis. Vardorvis was way easier than this guy for some reason. Just casually trying to log out instead of like eating food. You could tell I was panicking during this. The next boss in Desert Treasure 2 is the Leviathan, and to get there you need to go to a place called the Scar, which is inside the Abyss in the Guardians of the Rift minigame. This is just a little puzzle that I had to go through, a little bit of trial and error. It was actually just like a movement thing where you had to follow these little orbs around to make sure you didn't get shocked from the floor. But basically, this area, again, not as scary as the Stranglewood, but just the style of it and everything was just really well done by Jagex again. This is basically you're sitting on the brain of a huge demon, I think is the lore. So this place was really well done, very very cool. I enjoyed it a lot. After a couple of other puzzles in that area that I didn't show, we finally get to the end of this place and we get to fight the Leviathan. I think I've showed a kill of the Leviathan on my League series, but I'll be showing you the kill again for the Leviathan. It was really fun this time around because I got to use my Bofa and full crystal armor. In the leagues, I think I was just running a rune crossbow, which is just terrible. Thankfully, the Bova is a very, very strong bow, so it did really well against the Leviathan. A few mess ups here and there, but the worst of all was I didn't bring any prayer pots. So I literally run out of prayer in this fight. But thankfully I still killed it in one go. I just decided when I hit the final phase, I'm just going to eat up when I get low, stay in the little white orb thing that I have to follow around, and keep trying to DPS, because Leviathan was low anyway, and it doesn't have like a final phase thing. Now onto the Duke, a boss I haven't actually faced yet. I didn't show any of the puzzles in here. It was kind of a weird one. It was more so just a lot of running around. So I didn't really want to show any of that. But the boss fight itself is kind of like a puzzle at the start where you gotta like ferment some poison to wake up the Duke. And I'm just speeding through this clip here because it took a while for me to figure all that out. And I even died before I even got to the boss fight. And in my second attempt, I did get to the boss fight, but I died just before he was actually about to die himself, which was just a shame, really. But we kept going anyway, and I think on the third attempt, I actually got the Duke down. After the Duke was finished, it was on to the final fourth boss of Desert Treasure 2, the Whisper, which I have experience with in from the leagues. The area around the Whisper in the cathedral was amazing during the quest. All of the puzzles going back and forth through the Shadow Realm. I didn't show any of it here, but let me tell you, it was so cool. It was it's one of my favorite areas, I think. Now, the Whisper fight went a little bit different than in the leagues. If you remember in the leagues, I struggled with this boss because I had to use a staff casting ability. I had the Trident this time around, and because I wasn't two-ticking attack, I'm actually doing a four-tick attack cycle. It was a lot easier to deal with the like mechanics and stuff. I was barely getting hit. There was a few fumbles here and there, obviously. I always seem to make mistakes here and there, especially against hard bosses. All I'll say is again is like I'm so happy that the bosses are a little bit easier during the quest. It means I didn't have to spend a lot of time here, but all the mechanics kind of came back to me pretty easy. I did, however, forget darts to kill the little ghosts, which was quite unfortunate. But other than not being able to kill the ghosts and taking damage that way, there was not a lot of mess ups here. After the Whisperer was defeated, we eventually go back to the temple. And there's like a little bit of a thing that I'm not showing at the end. But let me tell you, the end part was really fun too. Just another like little boss kind of fight. Not to spoil anything too much. Yeah, probably one of my favorite quests since Dragon Slayer 2. I really like Dragon Slayer 2. This is definitely my favorite quest now. Really fun. A few tips without spoiling anything that I would say to anyone. Be prepared for anything. Even like I don't want to give too much away again, but even like traversing from boss to boss, things happen that I didn't show in this video and I didn't show for a reason. It's you gotta be prepared. That's the best way to put it. You also get a Ring of Shadows, which I used in the leagues. It's a really good mage ring, especially I don't have a Seer's ring, and I certainly won't be getting a Mage's Vestige anytime soon, so that's really good. And you get these lamps, which I actually put into prayer. It's 100,000 XP per lamp, so I went from 73 prayer to 75 prayer, which is pretty good. Now on to the final few quests that I had to do. This one was called Defender of Varrock, and this one's actually really cool. Kind of ties into Arav again, which is like, if you don't know, the Shield of Arav is one of the free-to-play quests that you play, so they kind of like tie in more of the history around Arav and stuff like that. And you also unlock these things called armored zombies, which drop a zombie axe, which is like a really, really strong mid-game crush weapon. So I will be coming back later to get that crush weapon on the armored zombies. I think it'll be worth it. I need a good crush weapon. I think the best one I have right now is either the leaf-bladed battle axe or the dragon mace, depending on what would be better. What was really cool about this quest is that you actually get to run around with the Shield of Arav in its full glory as well. You have to find a descendant of the shield, and then you're able to like defend Varrock that way. And just some of the cutscenes were really well done. I loved it all. It was really cool. It also ties into the Majorat quest line, which was from Desert Treasure, which we just previously done. So kind of continues that story after Desert Treasure 2, which was interesting also. Now on to our next quest. We have Children of the Sun, which is a big quest. Even though it's very small, it took like 5 minutes. It's only a big quest because it unlocks the new continent of Varlamore, which is a recent expansion done by Jagex. I'm very excited about this DLC that came out, and just can't wait to complete this quest and get into the other quests that are in Varlamore to kind of learn the area. If you're wondering how to get to Varlamore after completing the quest, this Quetzal bird will appear in the west outside of the walls of Varrock. And this person will bring you straight to the center of Varlamore, so it's pretty handy. And once you're there, you kind of start a quest that will then give you a teleport eventually to Varlamore. As part of the first quest as you come into Varlamore, you actually get your own Quetzal called Renu, which is pretty cool. I really like the Quetzal system because I think that's something that Kourend was missing. Obviously, with the favor being removed now recently, you can take the minecarts everywhere in Kourend, which is a really nice change. But with the favor system that was initially in there, you had to like grind out all of the quests before you were able to travel around. Whereas this time you're kind of given the travel system for the continent, like pretty much straight away. So I can travel to a bunch of locations with my Quetzal, and yeah, so I just think it's a really cool way of like introducing the continent is in the first quest, giving you like a nice travel system to get around. And that is Twilight's Promise, which unlocks a teleport to the center of Varlamore in the city, which is pretty handy. We're going to move on to the next quest, which I'm not going to spoil too much of. It's a very, very small quest, but honestly, it was one of the funniest quests if you read the dialogue and stuff, so I really enjoyed this one. Riveting tale of a lily pad labor dispute was just so funny, just dealing with frogs on strike. Basically, that to sum up the quest, that's what's happening, but you gotta like read everything, and it's a very quick quest, but I won't spoil anything. It was probably one of the funniest quests I've done in a long time. Now on to At First Light, which is the Hunter's Guild quest. That basically unlocks these things called rumors for you, which is like the new way of doing Hunter if you don't want to just like sit there and catch chinchompas all the time. I'm very excited for this. I'll definitely come back and start doing some rumors. Apparently there's an outfit you can get. For now, I just wanted to get through the quest, of course. Very good quest though. You basically just need to, it's just a run from A to B to C kind of quest, but you're doing it for a cat who's a member of the Hunters Guild, so it's kind of cool, and you're like fixing its bed, so it's kind of cute. Now on to Perilous Moons, which is actually the last quest for me. This is basically the content that I'm excited for, since I'm not going to be able to do the Colosseum right away. This is kind of the mid-level content. It's basically compared to Barrows, but brand new. Lots of like armor pieces to get, new weapons and stuff, and the boss fights kind of teach you simple movement mechanics and stuff. You don't really need to pray or anything. Really, really fun quest. All the bosses and the art style and just the entire design of this place is really well done. I'm very excited to dip my toes into this one. What was also really cool was during all of these boss fights, there was random players from the game just like joining in on the boss fights, so even during the quests. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think this content is designed for just like any kind of group content coming in. So at any moment you can just like randomly get people coming in and helping you kill the boss. So it's not really about like soloing it. It's just about learning the mechanics and stuff like that. And also, you don't need to bring in any supplies for this. You get all of your food. You can prep all of your potions and food here. So that's also a big win, I think. It's going to make it way more appealing to mid-level players to unlock this kind of content. This is definitely going to give mid-level players like that feeling of like doing a raid, which I think is super important. It doesn't like, it's not crazy difficult, like you're not prey flicking or anything like that, but you are learning like a lot of mechanics, you know? So I think this is just such a good content drop. I'm very excited. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of this in the future. And after killing all 3 bosses, that is the quest complete. So it kind of gives you an introduction into how you do those runs, the Perilous Moon runs, which is also nice. I don't think Barrows has anything like that, like a kind of tutorial before you get in. You just kind of look up a YouTube video and go for it. So that was nice. And it's also the final quest. With that, you get a reward from the run itself. And again, it feels like raids the way you're like claiming your loot like this. It's very, very cool. I'm not sure what the collection log was there, like the darts. I'll have to look into that, but I'm sure it's pretty common, so I wasn't too hyped about it. And now the moment I've been waiting for is that I can finally wear my quest cape again. I haven't been able to wear this or use the teleport for a while, so it feels good to get this back on my back. And there we have it. The quest cape has been acquired, and that's gonna end it right here. I think in the next episode I might try go for that new Barrows content, the Perilous Moons, which is in Varlamore. It was really, really cool. I loved everything about it, and it might give me some mage upgrades that I have. I feel like I have range and melee kind of in a decent spot. Maybe I need to upgrade a bit of melee as well, but the mage robes right now are looking a little bit grim, so I think we'll be going for Perilous Moons next. I'll see you in the next one.